I get this question frequently, and I was asked actually just last week. I had a client ask me again about HELOCs, and we're going to get started with our next episode of Home Buying Made Easy, and we're going to talk about HELOCs, home equity line of credit. And I got Rachel here with me, and I think there's a handful of questions you want to ask or figure out what we're talking about as it relates to, not only VA loans. This was a veteran that was asking, but not only with VA loans can I get a HELOC, but what is a HELOC? There's just all kinds of questions. So ready, set, go, I guess.
So I have a prompt or question from a client, and they're asking very specific questions to their home loan and to their situation. So I did send it to you so then you can look at it and look at the numbers and kind of figure it out a little bit.
Okay.
So I'll read it out and then you can kind of expand on it.
On it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. You good?
Yeah, I got it right down here, I think.
Okay. Okay, here's how it is. It says, can someone help me understand HELOCs? I have about $75,000 in home renovations we want to do, and have been thinking about getting a HELOC, but don't really understand how it works. I have about $200,000 in equity based on what we owe versus what Zillow, Redfin, Realtor says our home is worth. Where does the HELOC come from? Is it the same lender of my VA loan? We are a veteran. A new lender. If I get a HELOC, does my mortgage change? Does the mortgage move to HELOC lender, or do I have two payments now? Yeah. So that's the question. And
that was not a question. That was
multiple questions.
You could have read one question. Holy cow. Okay, so let's start back at the top. We'll start with can someone help me understand HELOCs? A HELOC is called a home equity line of credit. What that means is you have a certain amount of equity left in your house. So maybe you have you put a down payment on your house, or you've just lived in the house for long enough to gain equity because the value of the house has continued to go up. But now you have the loan amount, which is here, and the equity, which is here. And the difference there is what you have available in equity. So a home equity loan will allow you to take your current loan amount, leave that alone. So it's a brand new loan. And you can get an equity line of credit for an additional amount to be able to do, like you said, home renovations. I think $75,000 worth of home renovations. So that's what an equity loan is. It does not have to be with the same lender. It is a completely different loan. So in our case, as mortgage brokers, we would shop around to see who has the best equity loan available right now. And you can definitely get a certain percentage out of your home equity. They do not allow you to go all the way up to 100% though. Most equity loans will allow you to go to 90% of your equity. So if you have your first mortgage, your main mortgage, your VA loan, and it is 70% of your value. So you have a value, we'll use 100,000. It's not the right number, but we'll use 100,000. If you have $100,000 value and you only have a loan for 70,000, you would be able to get a $20,000 home equity loan because they'll allow you to go up to 90%. Many of the lenders will allow you to go up to 90% on a home equity loan. So I think that answers part of that. Like, what is a home equity loan and how does that work? Let me see. Home equity by, but I don't really understand how it works. You would have two different payments because you have your main mortgage, your first lien, the first mortgage. Then you would have a home equity payment. Typically, the home equity line of credit is a higher interest rate. So I just don't want you to go into it thinking, oh, I'm going to get a great interest rate. Well, no, it's sitting in a second lien position. So your first mortgage is the first lien against the house. The home equity line of credit would be a second lien. Those have higher rates. and it's an equity line that you're taking cash out. So it has higher rates there too. I think, depending on where rates are at, if rates are at one level, I would say equity loans are probably several points higher. So example, if rates were at 6, equity loans would be at 7, 8, 9, 10. I recently had somebody that just refinanced an equity loan because they had an 11% equity loan. It was kind of high. So there's definitely a higher rate that comes with getting an equity loan because it's higher risk. Let's see, where does the equity loan come from? Same lender, already addressed that. Let's see, mortgage. Does the mortgage move to the new HELOC? No. Your existing mortgage stays right where it's at. The servicer for your mortgage won't change on the first mortgage just because you're going and getting an equity loan. An equity loan is definitely, it doesn't have to just be for renovations either. It could be for any number of things. You could pay off some other debt, or if you wanted to put a down payment on a car, or like an equity loan, usually they don't ask you a lot of questions about what are you doing with the money. Like that's not really what it's about. So I think that's pretty much answering. Did I answer all the questions?
Yeah, I think you did. So it doesn't affect the first mortgage at all. It's just completely separate.
It's a completely separate loan. And there's different types of equity loans too. There is a standalone fixed equity loan, and then there is a home equity line of credit. A home equity line of credit gives you a piece of, like, let's say you wanted $100,000 in the equity line. You can get $100,000 equity line, but you don't have to take all that out at once. You can use it almost like a credit card, if you want to say it like that.
Yeah.
So it's just money that you have available. So that might be a good choice too. We do a couple of different ones where, let's say you take a certain percentage out up front. We'll go back to our $100,000 scenario. Or we'll talk about the lady who asked about this. She wanted $75,000, but let's say she doesn't need $75,000 right away. She could take $50,000 out right now and still have the option to get the other 25, but get part of the work down. And then she's not paying all the interest for that other part that's out because she didn't take it out yet.
Right. Okay.
There's options to do that as well.
Okay.
There's a lot of different options when it comes to equity loans.
Okay. I think that is it. I just wanted to cover the first general HELOC. Here's what it is. This is a situation that we ran across, and that's episode
whatever.
Whatever.
It is episode Happy New Year. That's what it is. And here we are. If you have other questions, want to know information about equity loans or mortgages or anything else as it relates to home buying and making your life easier, our job is to help you make the home buying process easier. That's why it's called Home Buying Made Easy. We'll see you next video.